Hello and welcome. You're watching the news. I'm Gargi Raut. Coming up ahead, 2 new election commissioners have been appointed today. Also, the Ramnath Kovind panel has submitted its report on one nation, one election to the president. All that and more coming up ahead. Let's take a look at the headlines. The government has appointed 2 new election commissioners. Gyanesh Kumar, Sukhbir Sandhu have been picked. Congress leader Adhir Ranjan cries foul over the poll panel selection meet. He says he's given a dissent note and how he got the shortlist moments before the meeting. Former President Ramnath Kovind-led panel has submitted its One Nation, One Election report, and the panel is unanimous opinion on simultaneous elections that polled Lok Sabha state polls together. 15 political parties opposed the proposal. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh speaks out over the CAA in Assam, says nobody's citizenship to be snatched. The Kerala Chief Minister says CAA will not be enforced in Kerala. Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister hits out this, says there's no water crisis in Bengaluru this even as people are suffering. The government claiming all is well. Several areas are facing a severe water shortage. The BJP hits out. Our top story now, bureaucrats Sukhbir Singh Sandhu and Gyanesh Kumar have been chosen as the new election commissioners. The government officially made the announcement just a short while ago. But leader of opposition and Congress MP Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary cried foul about the selection process earlier today when he spoke to the media. Mr. Chaudhary was part of the 3-member panel chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with the Home Minister Amit Shah to select the 2 election commissioners. Chaudhary criticized the selection process and saying it was a fait accompli that the government's pre-decided candidates would be chosen.
Gyanesh Kumar and Sukhbir Singh Sandhu, both ex-bureaucrats, will be India's new election commissioners. Senior Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary told the media. Mr. Chaudhary was part of the selection panel chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah also on it. Together with Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar, the 3 officials and their team will be responsible for conducting the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. Who is Gyanesh Kumar? A former IS officer, Kerala cadre, ex-secretary in the Ministry of Cooperation under Amit Shah, part of the team that worked on the abrogation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir, ex-secretary, Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. Who is Sukhbir Singh Sandhu? A former IS officer, Uttarakhand cadre, served as Chief Secretary Uttarakhand, ex-chairman National Highways Authority and ex-additional secretary in the HRD ministry. At this press conference after the meeting, the Congress's Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary hit out at the centre, saying that the Chief Justice of India should have been part of the panel and that he was given 212 names for scrutiny just last night.
मुझे जो सूची दिए गए थे वो मान लीजिए कुल मिलाकर 212 जन की। तो मान लीजिए कल रात में मैं आए हैं दिल्ली 12 बजे पहुंचे और सुबह 12 बजे हमें पीएम साहब की दफ्तर में चयन करने के लिए जाना पड़े। उनकी बारे में मुझे कैसे बारीकी से जानकारी मिले और कैसे मैं अपना बुद्धि को इस्तेमाल करेंगे।
The decision to appoint new commissioners was necessitated after the sudden and abrupt resignation of Arun Goyal as election commissioner, who cited personal reasons after reported differences between him and the chief election commissioner Rajiv Kumar, who was not even told by Mr. Goyal that he was quitting.
ये गोयल साहब की नियुक्ति के समय हमारे सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये टिप्पणी किए थे, आपको शायद याद है कि लाइटनिंग स्पीड में उनको नियुक्ति किए गए थे और वैसा ही लाइटनिंग स्पीड में भी वो भी निकल गए, रेजिग्नेशन डाल दिए।
The focus now shifts to the dates to be announced by the Election Commission and conducting a free and fair election, as well as the Supreme Court hearing whether to intervene and stay the appointment process. With camera person Sanjay Kaushik, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
Former President Ramnath Kovind, the led panel, today submitted the report on One Nation, One Poll to President Draupadi Murmu, where they advocated for the adoption of simultaneous elections, emphasizing its potential to revolutionize the electoral process and governance. They recommended simultaneous polls to Lok Sabha and State Assembly elections to be held in the first step, and this followed by local body polls within 100 days in the second step, as and when it's finally implemented. Let's take a look at some of the reactions.
How can there be one nation, one election when the current regime is not accepting the people's mandate? And also, it's completely against the spirit of decentralization of the panchayats and everything else. So let's see what the recommendations are.
The Honorable former President Ramnath Kovind ji has submitted that report on One Nation, One Poll. That should be welcomed. Our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has repeatedly spoken about the benefits of it. And there are several benefits of One Nation, One Poll. The Law Commission has considered it also.
Well, let's go across to Vasudha now for more. And Vasudha, it's a voluminous report, 18,000 pages, and various recommendations have been made.
Yes, that's right, Gargi. This high-level committee headed by former President Ramnath Kovind makes a very strong case for going back to this tradition of simultaneous polls. Remember, before 1967, India used to have simultaneous polls. In fact, it asks the government to put in place a legally feasible, tenable mechanism and framework so that simultaneous polls can be held. In fact, it recommends a two-step process. One, it says that, the Lok Sabha polls and the State Assembly polls could be synchronized first, and after 100 days, there could be a synchronization of the local polls. It also talks about emergency situations where, if there is a no confidence vote, it talks about how, there could be elections only for the unexpired period. It also talks about constitutional amendments that need to be made. So it's going to be a huge process. But most importantly, it talks about macroeconomic factors that can actually lead to better growth prospects in the country if elections are held simultaneously. Now, it is up to the government to look at these recommendations. I'm told that they're very serious about it. So they will look at these recommendations and put in place a committee that will, ensure the implementation of these recommendations.
All right. Thanks so much for that, Vasudha. Some breaking news now coming in. The SBI has uploaded the data. The Election Commission has uploaded the SBI data on electoral bonds. Remember, this is something that was awaited this after the Supreme Court's direction that this information, the electoral bonds data, should be made public. Remember, initially the SBI had sought more time, said it needed time till June to collate all the data and submit it to the Election Commission. However, the Supreme Court had ordered that it be given by the next day. Finally, after that Supreme Court wrap, it took 2 days for the SBI to submit the data to the Election Commission and also submit an affidavit in the Supreme Court saying that it had been all given to the Election Commission. The Election Commission at that time was in fact in Jammu and Kashmir, and during a media briefing he said that it will be made public soon, though he had not given a time of when the electoral bonds data would be shared. But now it has been uploaded, and there you can see the Election Commission of India saying it's has uploaded the electoral bonds data. Let's go across to Sunil Prabhu for more. So Sunil, finally, after the Supreme Court's intervention, the Election Commission has uploaded all this information. What can we understand from this?
Well, there's going to be a data mine. It's a wealth of information.
That's right.
Lots and lots of data for everybody. It'll now, of course, as we've been talking about for days and if not months after the Constitutional Court had decided that this is unconstitutional and it needs to be disclosed. There were attempts by SBI to delay that process. Now, the Election Commission had, because there were two parts of it. One was forthwith. What was submitted in a sealed envelope till 2019 must be updated. And this Election Commission, ahead of that deadline of, that is 15th, 5 o'clock, has done this today itself and uploaded all that data. These are in, of course, the raw format, which will require now a little bit of deciphering about which companies, who had contributed, why did they contribute, were they non-performing assets, did they get any government contracts? Were there any investigations? Were they stopped? Were there shell companies? There is a whole list. And also the redemption, as you're well aware, that has also been made more or less public. The amounts that have been redeemed, and that data, if you just glance and open through the website, you'll be able to actually decipher and see, 10 crores, and it's all denominations of that kind that have been bought and taken. So definitely a big day for transparency, accountability, probity in public life, as well as to ensure they uphold the constitutional and the parliamentary democratic spirit that political parties need to come clean about the funding, where they have got their money from, and how they have spent it, because that also is given in an affidavit to the Election Commission.
Right. And Sunil, according to that affidavit, compliance affidavit that was given earlier by the SBI, we did know that 22,217 electoral bonds were purchased, between these dates of 2019 to 2024, and 22,030 were redeemed. So now we're going to be able to, collate which company donated how much and what entities donated how much to which party? Or that is something that right now it's going to take a long time to arrive at?
Well, that will, there are two different aspects to it. And I've been saying this, and once again for our viewers, we must understand it. Don't confuse matters. One is the people who bought the bonds. That data will be provided. And that data, what will it give you? A wealth of information in terms of which company, who are the individuals, who else bought it, what was the way, did they get benefits from the companies? All that information will be given. The rest is those who redeem. That is quite clear. You don't really need to link it, because that is itself, you will be able to make out once and for all. It will require a little bit of funding. And if you can see that number that is given in terms of how they bought it, so they will try to state it. But that clear linkage or correlation may not be that easy.
Right. In fact, we're showing our viewers, this is all available on the Election Commission's website, and, we're scrolling down there for you. So the various denominations are there, it's alphabetical. So you can see how much, which companies have purchased how many bonds. Though in this one can't really see which, and of course it's in two separate tranches, Sunil. So
That's right.
We'll have to.
So what you're seeing right now is about the fact which everybody knows: 6,500 crores has been taken by the BJP, and you're seeing those crores of rupees in terms of redemption that have happened, the dates and how they've gone about that entire process. Earlier, and the bonds that have been bought, that will be at a different time. So it will require a mammoth exercise, as I've been saying. 22,000 to correlate that data in terms of linking it with companies and doing those searches. It will require a lot of analysis, but whether it can, correlate to say X company and whether it is bought by a particular party, I don't think that correlation can happen immediately. So that the redemption of the parties redeeming it and all that will not come out immediately, because that's raw data that was not required. That was not even in the order in the first place of the Constitutional Court. They didn't want it to be correlated. The SBI said that if you want us to correlate, we need time till the 30th of June. Just upload it as is, where is basis, and that has also been done by the Election Commission.
All right, so that is the big breaking news right now. If you've just joined us, the data that you're seeing that we're scrolling through is what has been the electoral bonds purchased since 2019. And in fact, both tranches have been made available on the Election Commission's website. The details of electoral bonds submitted, there's part 1 and part 2. This data was submitted by the SBI to the Election Commission, and the Election Commission had time till tomorrow, Sunil, the Ides of March. But before that, they chose to put it, out in the public today itself, tonight. And so there you can see the Election Commission has finally published all that data. And Sunil, this is a case, that was going on for several years, as we know, and it was really just so close to elections that finally the Supreme Court, passed its verdict and declared just how unconstitutional, in their opinion, electoral bonds were, etc. And, so all that, it happened, many feel it happened, just too late. It was just too close to the election. So that's been very interesting, but also a big victory for those who, fought against electoral bonds. And they said that this, comes in the way of democracy and our political parties.
It's so interesting that you say that, and no less than Prashant Bhushan, when he had mentioned, for early hearing of the constitutional case to the Chief Justice of India, and he said, "Do you want me to hear the ruling on the electoral bonds, or do you want me to hear the decision on the money bill?" And Mr. Prashant Bhushan said, "No, but this has got elections and this has far-reaching consequences, and that's the reason why this 5-judge bench was constituted in the first place." And now that decision has come. I mean, it was held unconstitutional. Every effort was made not to, really give the details. You will, once you go through this entire process and do that data mining, you will be able to find out companies like thousands of crores that they have bought. Why have they bought it? Who has bought it? What is the process? What is the linkage with a particular company? They will then be able to check with their company reports and data, what have they been doing, where is the linkage, which states have they been functioning. This is just going to be an eye-opener. Eye-opener for everybody, you and me as a voter, to know where our political parties have got their money and where it has been funded. This comes in the backdrop as the election commissioner, the chief election commissioner, has made this decision when he is going to be, of course, 2 other commissioners have been recently appointed just a few minutes ago by the President of India. So it's in that context that we will have to wait and see how things proceed.
All right, thanks so much for that, Sunil Prabhu. They're reporting on the big breaking news right now. Electoral bonds data that was received from the SBI has now been uploaded on the website of the Election Commission. You can, go check it out yourself. It's eci.gov.in. So that is where all this data has finally been uploaded. As Sunil was saying, it's going to take some time and data mining to actually, put those numbers together. Well, moving on to the other big story today, and after Home Minister Amit Shah defended the Citizenship Amendment Act, now Defence Minister Rajnath Singh too said that people are being misled over CAA, asserting that the legislation would not take away citizenship of anyone living in India. Addressing a rally in Assam's Barpeta, he said the CAA will grant citizenship to religiously persecuted people who came to India till 2014 from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan.
यह नागरिकता का जो कानून है किसी की भी नागरिकता को समाप्त करने वाला कानून नहीं है। यह तो नागरिकता देने वाला कानून है। चाहे पाकिस्तान हो, चाहे बांग्लादेश हो, चाहे अफगानिस्तान हो, जिनका वहां पर अपने देशों में धार्मिक उत्पीड़न हो रहा है, यदि वह भारत आकर भारत की नागरिकता लेना चाहते हैं तो इस कानून के अंतर्गत उन्हें भारत की नागरिकता मुहैया कराई जाएगी। किसी की नागरिकता समाप्त नहीं किया जाएगा।
Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan said CAA will not be enforced in Kerala. Remember, when the law was passed in 2019, Vijayan had called it discriminatory and passed a resolution in the Assembly against it, while Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal today hit out over what he said outsiders taking jobs.
ഭാഗവുമായ ഒരു നിയമമാണ്. അത് കേരളം നടപ്പാക്കില്ല എന്ന് നേരത്തെ തന്നെ പ്രഖ്യാപിച്ചതാണ്. ഇപ്പോഴും അതുതന്നെയാണ് ആവർത്തിച്ച് പറയാനുള്ളത്. ആ നിലപാട് എല്ലാ തരത്തിലും ഉറപ്പിക്കാൻ സർക്കാർ പ്രതിജ്ഞാബദ്ധമാണ്. അതിനാണ് സംസ്ഥാന സർക്കാർ ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട സുപ്രീം കോടതി മുൻപാകെ ഒറിജിനൽ സ്യൂട്ട് ഫയൽ ചെയ്തത്.
All right, some breaking news now coming in that Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has been injured in an accident. The Trinamool chief injured in poll season. So that is the information that we have at this point, that West Bengal Chief Minister has been injured. And as you can see, that statement on social media saying our chairperson Mamata sustained a major injury. and please keep her in your prayers. So that's the information we have. In other news, in a campaign by NDTV, Samarth by Hyundai, in partnership with NDTV, is a movement for equal rights for people with disabilities. And today we meet an IS officer who, despite clearing the tough UPSC exam in her very first attempt, was refused a posting because she has scoliosis, a spine-related disorder which disrupted her arm movement. Now, this is the inspiring story of Ira Singhal.
Is something called a hyperscoliosis. All of us have a straight backbone. Well, not all of us, but yeah. You're supposed to have a straight backbone, but in my case, it's in an S form. My peers specifically were not comfortable with a girl who looked like me, and decided to be their equal. Despite clearing the exam, there was no service willing to accept me, simply because even though I could fill the ability criteria for most of the jobs, I didn't fill the disability criteria. So I decided to fight that lawsuit. Maybe this is how I'm supposed to make a difference. I've been very lucky that I've kind of been in roles where I've been a part of a lot of policy changes. You're the only person who has lived in your shoes. Don't let the world define who you are. I am Samarth.
Well, that's all from me for the moment. News updates continue on NDTV.